Krishna running away from the battle? Is that why he got the name Ranchod, the one who runs away from the battle? Let us hear the story right from the very beginning. Now, there was a king by the name of Muchukunda who lived in the Satyuga and he ruled over earth. He was very noble and brave and powerful, so much so that even Indra, the king of the Devatas, asked him for his help to fight with the demonic forces, as they were always losing battle after battle. Now, King Muchukunda, belonging to the esteemed Ikshvaku race, readily agreed. He left behind his family and his kingdom and went to the heavens. Blessed with a divine body by the Devatas, he then led the battle against the Asuras till the time they got a commander-in-chief by the name of Kartikeya. Now, when it was time for him to return, a long time had passed. After Satyuga, the Treta Yuga, and now till Dwapar Yuga, so much time had elapsed that there was no one in his family or kingdom for him to return to. And so, looking at the great sacrifice that Muchukunda had done, Indra offered him a boon. But anything that he wished for except for moksha or liberation, because that can be granted only by the Supreme Lord. And so, Muchukunda, who was by now very tired, for he was on his toes fighting this battle, he asked for a long, undisturbed sleep. Indra smiled because he could understand Muchukunda's state and also added that he would go and sleep undisturbed, but whoever dared to disturb his sleep would be burnt to ashes. And so Muchukunda came to the earth and sought out a nice cave in seclusion and went to sleep. Meanwhile, at the same time, King Jarasandh of Magadha was a mighty powerful ruler who was now furious with Lord Krishna because Krishna had killed Kamsa, who was the husband of his daughters Asti and Prapti. Now, when he saw Asti and Prapti crying because they had become widows, Jarasandh decided that he would wage a war with Krishna and decided to attack Mathura. He collected a powerful army of 23 Akshavinis. Each Akshawani had 21,870 chariots with an equal number of elephants, 65,610 horses and 1,09,350 foot soldiers. With 23 such Akshaunis, Jarasandh attacked Mathura. While Krishna and Balarama, Krishna, blessed with celestial chariots by the Devatas, with his Sharanga bow, and Balaram with his mace, attacked the army and destroyed them in no time. However, Krishna decided to let Jarasandh go scot-free because he knew that Jarasandh would soon gather another army of evil, wicked people, and the Lord's incarnation on earth was to destroy all the evil forces. And so 17 times Jarasandh attacked Mathura, each time with 23 Akshaunis, and each time the entire army was annihilated. Jarasandha would go back insulted, humiliated, and with a fresh desire for vengeance. And so he got ready for the 18th time. Meanwhile, there was another warrior by the name of Kalayavana. Kalayavana had heard that Krishna was very brave and mighty and he wanted a good battle, almost as if it was a sport for him. So he decided to attack Mathura. Krishna and Balarama now realized that if Kalayavana would attack and Krishna and Balaram would be busy with him, Jarasandh would get an advantage, for he too would come with his army, and then all the innocent residents of Mathura, the people and the cattle, would be massacred. And so they thought that a new city was needed for them. And from under the sea, a magnificent new city of Dwaraka was created. Within the fortress, there was a beautiful town with fountains and gardens, broad roads, towers with roofs and walls studded with gems. In this beautiful palace, Indra himself gifted Krishna a beautiful assembly hall known as Sudharma. Kubera, the lord of wealth, gave 9 types of wealth, or the Navanidhi, while Varuna, the water god, gifted Krishna the fleetest of horses. Indra also gifted the Parijata tree from heaven, the shade of which would protect anyone from hunger, thirst and fatigue. And so now, all the residents of Mathura were transported by the yogic powers of Krishna to the city of Dwaraka. Dwaraka is known to be one of the 7 cities where one can get liberation. The 7 cities are Ayodhya, Haridwar, Kashi, Kanchi, Ujjain, Mathura and Dwaraka. And so now, with all the innocent citizens being safe, Krishna and Balarama decided to fight first with Kalayavana. Krishna went out of the gates of Mathura alone, and then when he encountered Kalayavana, he suddenly got down from his chariot and started running, as we had seen in the start of the story. Krishna ran and ran, while Kalayavana wondered why Krishna was doing this and began following him. In fact, Kalayavana had got a boon saying that whoever encounters him in battle will have to run away from him. And Kalayavana started thinking that even Krishna was no match for him, and he began chasing Krishna. Krishna now entered the cave where Muchukunda was sleeping. Now, when Kalayavana entered the cave, his eyes could not get accustomed to the darkness of the cave, and he saw that there was a figure lying down. He also saw that there was a pitambari draped over the sleeping figure. And so, thinking that this was a coward Krishna who ran away from battle, Ranchod, he thought that he would wake him up. And so, very rudely, he began kicking the figure. Muchukunda woke up and opened his eyes to see who had dared disturb his sleep. His eyes fell on Kalayavana, and in no time, Kalayavana got burned to ashes. And then, in amazement, as Muchukunda looked around, he saw the celestial figure of Lord Krishna. He immediately folded his hands and asked him, "Who are you? Are you Indra or Surya? Your blazing brilliance dazzles me. No, you must be the Supreme Lord himself. Please reveal your true identity." And Lord Krishna smiled and blessed him and said, "Yes, I am the Supreme Lord, born each time with different names. Now, I am Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, belonging to the Yadava race." Muchukunda was so happy at having got darshan of the Lord that he begged for liberation then and there. However, Krishna told him to go to a secluded place and with constant focus and attention meditate upon the Lord, and soon a time would come when he would merge into him. So Muchukunda went away and decided to meditate in the Himalayas between the twin peaks of Nara and Narayana. As for Krishna, coming out of the cave, he decided to vanquish the army of Kalayavana, which was no less in number. He had come with 30 Akshavinis of Mlechas or barbarians. Once this army was defeated, Krishna and Balarama decided to now go to Dwaraka. While Jarasandha was waiting for them, he saw Krishna and Balarama go on top of a mountain. He thought that they were running away like cowards. So calling out to Ranchod, he said, I will now set fire to this very mountain and destroy you. He set fire to the mountain, but Krishna and Balarama had transported themselves to Dwaraka by then. While Jarasandha, thinking that he had won, went away happily. The end of Jarasandha was to come sometime later, and Krishna would have a hand in that, but that will be seen in another story. And so we see how Lord Krishna, though he got the name of Ranchod, was no coward. It was just one of his leelas. Just like he was a Makhanchor or a thief in his childhood, he ran away from battle for a larger cause. Such are the glories of the Lord that each name of his seems like a compliment. May we all get the opportunity to think of the various leelas or playtimes of the Lord when we think of all his various names. If you like today's story about how Krishna got the name of Ranchod, do share it with your friends and family and ask them to join us on this journey week after week. I will be back next Thursday. Until we meet again, Hari Om.